Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be showing you the step-by-step on how I made this dress you are seeing on the screen for my USA based clients. This style is so beautiful. You can use it for bridal shower photo shoot or birthday photo shoot. If you have seen this style before and you have been wondering how it was achieved, I'll be putting you through on how you can cut and sew it. Just make sure you watch till the end. And at the end of this video, if you find my tutorial helpful, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give my video a thumbs up. Alright, I have this 2.5 years of liquid Mikado fabric. For this style, your choice of fabric matters a lot. That's why I went for Mikado fabric that have a very thick texture. You can as well use ordinary Mikado instead of the shiny one. I also have the matching color of Doffy satin that I'll be using for the lining. It's also 2.5 years. For the net, I bought two types of net. The one I'll be using for the lower part and the one that I'll be using to add volume to the dress and for the sleeve part. This one I'm holding here is very soft and is the one that I'll be using for the lower part of the gown. This one is the one that I'll be using for the sleeve part and the inner part. So as this video progresses, I'll be explaining more on this. I also have this hard net. I'll be using this one to add more volume to the dress. So I'll be explaining how you can use all this material as we go further on this tutorial. So I will be starting with the upper part, as we all know that this is an off-shoulder dress. So I will determine how off I want the off-shoulder to be. So I will be removing 6 inches. That's how off I want it to be. So I will place my tape on the starting point. I'll just rule out my starting point as a guide. So I'll place my tape on the starting point line. I'll place my 6 inches there. So I will now mark her chest line, which is 9 inches. I will mark it and rule it straight down. So after that, I will mark her half length, which is 18 inches. I will add half inch for joining with the lower part. And I will rule my lines out. After ruling the lines out, I will be marking her strap to strap measurement. To get your strap to strap measurement, you'll be deducting 3 inches from your actual shoulder width. Our shoulder width is 17 inches. If I minus 3, I'm left with 14 inches. So I'll be dividing the 14 inches by 2, which I have 7 inches. So on her chest line depth, I will insert quarter of her round bust measurement. Her round bust is 43.5, so I added half inch for ease, making it 44 inches. Then I divided it by 4. I marked it and I also mark 1 inch for sewing allowance. After that, I will curve the armhole. On the half length, I'll also mark quarter of my round bust measurement there. The same thing I mark on the chest line. The waist area is meant to be free. In a situation where the difference between your round bust and your round waist is 1 inch, what you do is that you add 1 inch after dividing your waist circumference by 4 inches. So I've connected the line. The next thing I'll do now is to cut it out. After cutting it out, I'll place it on another folded fabric. I want to cut my back part. So I left 1 inch for zipper allowance. That's my zipper allowance. So I will now trim it out. This is simple as ABCD. So I will slash this zipper allowance open. After that, I will place it on my Mikado fabric and I will cut exactly the same thing I cut on my Doffy satin. I'll cut it off camera and come back and show you. So I've cut it already. So what I did is that I ironed my hairstay on the one that I'll be using for the main fabric. That is my Mikado fabric. I iron my hairstay on it. I did not iron any interface on the Doffy, the one I'll be using for my lining. So I'll be using my soft net to give the fabric a rich feel. This is because we'll be using net on the lower part. So before you place your net, you iron your fabric very well so that it will be very smooth. After that, you place your net the way I placed mine. I'll trim it out the way you see me doing. After trimming it out, the next thing now is to use my B7000. This is my gum. You can use any fabric gum. So you dab it at the edge. Can you see what I'm doing? That's how you would dab it. After dabbing it, you now press it down. Please note that this step is totally optional. You can decide to ignore this part, alright? After doing it on the front part, I will repeat the same process on the back part. I'll finish it up off camera and come back and show you the next thing to do. The next thing I'll be doing now is to use my lining to turn the next part. So I'll face it right side facing the right side and I'll stitch it this way. I'll also do the same thing on the back part, but I will stop at where I mark my zipper allowance. I notch it to indicate it. Can you see where I notched? That is 1 inch I left my zipper allowance. So I will now stitch it up to that zipper allowance. I will mark it here. I will stitch with 1/2 inch. I'll do it now and come back and show you the next thing you will do. I've already done it. Can you see the zipper allowance I left? I did not stitch up to that side. So I will remove my pins now. I will turn it this way and I will give it a good press. Iron it very well. Also do the same thing on the front part. You can open press the same and iron very well so that everything will lay flat and neat. Alright, this is what I have when I was done ironing it. So the next thing now is to sew it lining to lining, fabric to fabric. Just watch what I'm doing, you'll get it right. So this is my back part. I will place my back part this way. I will shape it with 1 inch I added for my zipper allowance. I'm shaping the fabric first. Can you see what I have? After that, I will also sew the lining this way. Just follow what I'm doing, you'll get it right. So I'll do it and come back and show you. So I've already done it. Can you see? The lining is separately and the main fabric is separately. The next thing I will do now is to open the side seam allowance and iron it properly, both for the lining and for the main fabric. Just iron it the way you see me doing. The next thing now is to work on the lower part, and I will start with the lining. So I will use my satin fabric now to cut the base for the lining. To do that, I will measure what I have on the upper part. That's for the waist. I'll measure the total of what I have here. So I have about 46 inches. After that, I will be doing a little calculation just to put you on a right track. So I will write the value that I got. So I'll be using 180 degrees flay. That's half circle flay for the lower part. So I will be dividing 46 inches by 3.14. The full length of the gown is 39 inches. So if I minus the upper part, which is 18 inches, I will be left with 21 inches. To know the amount of fabric I will put on fold, I will add the 21 inches to the value I got when I divided my round width by 3.14. If I add it, I will multiply it by 2. To cut it out, the width and the length will be the same thing. So I will fold my fabric into 2 this way. Can you see what I'm doing? Fold it into 2. I'll fold it like a triangle. After folding it into 2, you fold it like a triangle this way. After folding it, I will place the value I got when I divided my round waist by 3.14. So I'll mark it this way. After marking it, I will rule a straight line. After ruling a straight line, I will keep my tape at the apex of the fabric and I will go round. I just want to give it that curve, that flake curve. If you are watched up to this length and you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly support the channel by subscribing and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. After covering it, I will now mark the length of this flay, which is 21 inches. So I will curve it the way you see me doing. Can you see what I'm doing? So after covering it, I will now cut it out. After cutting it out, you have something like this. So I'll be showing you how you can add fullness to the dress. To do that, I'll be using this veil net. I have only 4 yards here. This is a medium soft net. You can make use of 10 yards of V-net if you want it to give you that maximum fullness. The hard net is not really necessary if you have enough V-net. So I'll be showing you how I folded it. For this gown, I used 3 layers. You can use like 4 layers. You have enough fabric. Width of this net is 60 inches, so I folded it into 2 by the width. After folding it into 2, you determine the length. I will be deducting 2 inches from the 21 inches. The net and the satin is not meant to be the same length, so I'll fold it again, making it 3 layers. After folding it into 3 folds, you confirm whether your length is accurate. So I will arrange it very well. After arranging it, I will slash it open. I will slash it open from this side. Just cut it out. After that, I will just trim up this part that I have here. Please note that I folded this fabric by the width, which is 60 inches. So after trimming off the rough edges, I'll be having about 58 inches in total when I measured it. So I will use my pin to hold it so that it will not scatter. After folding it, I'll set it aside and fold another one. I'll do it off camera, come back and show you. Okay, I've folded another one. I have 2 here. This is the first one I folded. Please make sure you use your pin to hold it. Can you see what I have? So what I will be doing now is that I'll be joining it. I'll go and stitch it with 1/2 inch. So if you have enough net fabric, you can join it like 3 times. The total length I have for this one is 116 inches. So after pinning it, I will stitch it down. Can you see how long it is? So for the hard net, I have 18 inches here. For the length, I have 80 inches and I did 2 layers for the hard net. So I'll be joining some pieces to complete it. I want this one to be scanty. I want the hard net to be scanty. So can you see I've joined this one? I'll trim the excess out. I'll also join my hard net and I'll trim the excess out. The next thing I'll be doing now is to pull my gathers. You can go to your sewing machine and use your gather stitch and gather it. You gather it up to the waist measurement, that is the 46 inches. So I'll be using my hand needle now to do that. Please, using hand needle is optional. I just like using my hand needle, it's more easier for me. So I will arrange it very well and I will leave 1 inch for the zipper allowance. I will start pulling the gathers. I'll pull it the way you see me doing. Can you see what I'm doing? So I'll go off camera now and do it. I also do the same thing for the hard net, but my hard net will not be full. My hard net will be scanty. Alright, so I'll come back and show you the next thing that you will do. I'm done gathering it. This is what I have. Can you see? So if you have enough net, you can make it more fuller. If it is full, there's no need of using hard net. So I've also gathered my hard net. Can you see what I have? This one is scanty. It's not full. So before I join it together, I will stitch it down to secure it. I'll go and stitch it down. So after stitching it down, I will now match it together and I will also stitch it down. Just use your pin to hold it first. Use your pin to secure it so that it will be more easier for you. So after stitching it down, I will come back and show you the next thing that you will do. So this is what I have when I was done stitching it down. Can you see the fullness that I have? After trimming it out, the next thing I will do now is to place it on my lining. This is my lining, the 180 degrees flare that we cut out. So I'll place it this way. So the hard net will be facing the wrong side of the lining. You can mark 1/2 inch before you place it so that when you are attaching it with the upper part, it will not be bulky or you will not find it difficult. But me, I will be joining it directly. We place it together this way and I will use my pin to hold it. Please make sure that the hard net is facing the wrong side of the satin fabric. Very important. I'll go and stitch it now and come back and show you. So I will stitch it down. Do you see what I have? So before I attach it to the upper part now, I will work on the main fabric, that's the lower part for the Mikado fabric. So I'll show you how you can cut it out now. I will set this one aside. So I will fold my fabric into two and I'll fold it like a triangle. The same thing I did when I was cutting the lining part. There's a little difference. That's why I'm showing you this process again. So what I did is that I divided 46 by 4. I added extra 5 inches because I'll be doing a little pleating on the main dress. So after that I really stretched. So for the length I marked 21 inches plus 2 inches for folding allowance. So I will connect it straight. Can you see I use my ruler? It's not curved. The line is not curved. Don't make it curvy. It will be straight. So I will confirm what I have on this side, and I will also confirm what I have on this side. If it's not the same length, I will make it equal so that when I'm folding it I won't find it difficult. After that I will cut it out. After cutting it out, I will just add a little curve on the waistline. The waist area is not meant to be straight. I forgot to add the curve that the flared dress always have. It's only the hem that will be straight. Please take note of that. All right, so this is what you will have when you're done. So what I will do now is to iron it. I want to make it to look smooth. So after ironing it, I will go and weave it. I'll go to my interlocking machine and weave it and come back and show you the next thing you will do. Okay, I've weaved it. Can you see what I have? So after weaving it, you iron it very well if your fabric is rumpled. After that, the next thing I will do now is to fold the hemline. I will fold it this way. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll use my hemming gum to achieve that. If you like, you can sew it. You use the matching color of the thread or invisible thread to sew it. So I will show you how I iron it now. I'll insert my hemming gum inside and I'll be folding it. Just take your time and do this. Can you see what I have? If you are new to my channel and you love what I do here, please support my channel by watching the advertisement that is showing on my videos. Don't skip the advertisements. That's where we make little earnings. As you do that, may Almighty God bless you. Can you see the right side of the dress? Can you see how smooth it's looking? You can also use your invisible thread to sew it, to secure it. All right. So the next thing now is to fold it into two. I want to determine the middle. So I can add my pleats. So I will notch it. After notching it, I'll spread it out. So I will show you how I added my pleat. I will first of all place my ironing mesh on my fabric so that my iron will not stain it. I'll fold it with 1/2 inch and I will match it to the middle. I will iron it very well. Use your steam iron to iron it so that the pleating will relax. Can you see what I'm doing? Just fix your eyes on the screen, you will get what I'm doing. After that, I will also do the same thing on this side. I will pleat it with 1/2 inch, making sure that it's matching the middle notch. Can you see? After folding it, I will iron it properly. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, I'll be adding another pleat by the side. This is optional. You can decide to leave it, but I will not be ironing it down. So I will just use my pin to hold it. I'll also do the same thing on the other side. After that, I will measure it to confirm whether what I have is up to 46 inches. I will confirm. Okay, I'm on the right track. So I will now go and stitch it down. I will stitch the kissing pleat down. After stitching it down, I'll come back and show you the next thing that you will do. All right, I've done it. The next thing now is to attach it to the upper part. I will first of all sew the lining. I will attach the lining separately, the main fabric separately. Can you see what I'm doing? So you match the lining this way. I'll sew it and come back and show you the next thing to do. Can you see I've attached it? This is what you have when you're done. So the next thing now is to sew the main fabric. This is my lower part. I will determine the middle and I will determine the middle of the upper part also. I will match it together. I will start sewing from the middle part. Just use your pin and hold it. You sew from this side. After that, you follow this side and finish it up. After joining it, this is what you have. Can you see the lining? So what I will do is that I will stitch this net down to the satin fabric. I'll do the same thing on the other side. The next thing I will do now is to join it. That I will shape the back, lining to lining, fabric to fabric. I'll fold the lining this way. After folding it, I will pin it down. I will also arrange the main fabric. I want to fix the zip. So this is my waistline. From the waistline, I will measure 10 inches. The 10 inches I measured down is where my zipper will stop. So I will sew it down from that place. I will also do the same thing on the main fabric. From the waistline, I will come down by 10 inches and I will use 1 inch to close it down. I'll do it off camera, come back and show you the next thing you will do. So I've already done it. Can you see? This is the opening where I'll be attaching my zipper. So I will turn it to the right side now. I will turn it to the right side so that I can show you how I fit my zip. Can you see what I have? First of all, attach the zipper on the main dress, that's the Mikado fabric. So I will separate it now. This is my zipper allowance, the part I left open. We turn it now so that you can see what I'm doing. I will place my zip this way. I think I'll be doing a separate tutorial on how to fix a zipper on this kind of dress for the sake of beginners. Okay, let me turn it to the wrong side now for you to understand what I'm doing. This is my main fabric. I'll place my zipper this way. I will stitch it. After stitching it, this is what you will have. Can you see? So the next thing now is to open it up. I will open the zipper so that I can turn it with the lining. I will match the lining and the main fabric together so that I can close the zipper allowance I left open. After that, I will close the zipper allowance. I will stitch close to the zipper teeth. I want to achieve a neat finishing. I'll sew it up to the hem. After that, I'll come back and show you what you will have. Okay, I'm done sewing it. I will now turn it to the right side. Okay, this is the wrong side. Can you see what I have? I'll iron it very well. This is the right side. Can you see the neat finishing? So I will set it aside now so that we can work on the net part. As you can see, I have my soft net here. This dress is like 2-in-1. I've already weaved the net on the both sides. To get the length of the net, you minus your upper part, which is your half length, from the full length of the gown. And for the width, I multiply her round width by 2.5. I will just confirm what I have. After that, I will pull my gathers. I'll pull the gathers up to her round waist. That's her actual round waist. Can you see what I have after gathering it? You measure whether it's accurate. This is the measurement of my round waist. So I cut out a strap of fabric that I'll be using to turn it. For the length of the strap, I multiply her round waist by 2. For the width, I have 1.5 inches, that is on fold. So I folded ½ inch that I'll be using to top stitch on it. Just fold it into 2 and iron it very well. So after that, the next thing I will do now is to use it to turn it. So I'll fold it to determine the middle part. I will notch the middle. I'll also notch the middle of the net. Just follow what I'm doing, you'll get it right. So after notching it, I'll match it this way. Please note that the net that you use for this is the soft one, not the one we use to add fullness to the dress. Match it middle to middle and use your pin to secure it. Please make sure you work with your pins so that you will not make mistake. Hold it with pin. If possible, you can pin it all through before sewing it. So I will start from the middle to sew. After sewing, I will sew the other side. Can you see what I have when I was done sewing it? I will now use my scissors to trim off the excess fabric, and I will fold it this way. I will fold it. The part I folded ½ inch in, I will match it this way and I will top stitch on it. I use my pin to hold it so that you understand what I'm talking about. Can you see? Just push the seam inside and you stitch. I'll first of all close this part, close the both end before you stitch it. After that, I'll finish it up. This is what I have. Please, if you don't understand what I did, you can ask your question on the comment section. After that, you iron it very well so that you achieve a neat finishing. So this is the one that I'll be using for my sleeve. The width of the sleeve is 5.5 inches, but because I will be gathering it, I'll be using the whole width that I have here. On fold is 16 inches. Can you see? So for the length, I'll be using 17 inches. So I'll fold it into two because I'll be using it for the two sleeve. I have 17 inches for the length of the sleeve. After that, I'll open it up. One is for one sleeve and one is for the other sleeve. So I will trim up the armhole. I'll place it this way and I will cut it out. After cutting it out, I will go to my sewing machine and put the gather for the upper and the lower parts. That's the round sleeve. So I've cut out a strap of fabric I'll be using to pipe it. I have the width of 1.5 inches and the length is the length of the round sleeve. So I will place it this way. I will sew it. I will also do the same thing for the upper part. You trim off the excess fabric. You fold it first and fold it again to pipe. After piping it, you shape it with your round sleeve measurements. Can you see I've shaped it? So I'll turn it to the right side now and I will match it this way. I have a detailed tutorial on how to cut and fix an off-shoulder sleeve. Please do wait to check it out on my channel. So I will pin it down and sew it. Just sew with ½ inch after pinning it down. So I will go to my sewing machine now and sew it. After sewing it, I will weave it. So the next thing now is to confirm your round shoulder whether it's accurate. This one is accurate. So this is what you will have when you're done. So this is how you will tie it. Can you see? You tie it this way. This is how the style was achieved. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and share my video. Thanks for watching. Bye.